push-ups on the floor or on the side if you've got space, if you've got space on the side, but we will play around with that. And then we're on Instagram as well. So good morning, welcome to our Wednesday morning mindful movement. We're going to focus, we're going to keep playing around with the squats. So that's some of the really basic stuff. Play around with the squat, and we might be doing a little bit of floor work as well. So if you've got some space on the floor, if you've got a mat, that's great. Don't necessarily need a mat because we're not going to be laying on the floor or anything like that. Make sure you've got space side to side and forwards and back. And we'll start off just by taking our feet shoulder width apart. A little bit of softness in the knees, tall through the spine. And then we're moving from the center, knocking on the door of life. Remember that connection to the earth through the feet and connecting to the sky through the crown of the head. It's like you're taking your heels 6 inches below the ground and then just lifting the crown of your head towards the ceiling. If you're outside, lifting the crown of the head towards the sky. Relaxing the face. If the face is relaxed, it helps to relax the rest of the body. If we tighten the face, if we grimace, tightens everything else up. Inner smile is a nice thought. And if it feels comfortable, just taking a glance a little bit further behind. If you get any pain, if you stop breathing, then just stay facing predominantly forward. But and make sure this is really key that you keep that crown lifted, that I'm not craning my neck. And it's fascinating how much easier it is to go one side than the other. For me, maybe pretty symmetrical for you, but you may notice that. And if you do notice that, see if you can just lift and lengthen a little bit more. If you start to feel too dizzy, then slow it down. Just a few more if you're comfortable with this. Shoulders relaxed, back relaxed. And then slow it down. Slow it down into water waves. And take a moment. Let's step about shoulder and a half width apart. Actually a little bit wider than that. Comfortable width. Turning the feet slightly out. We're just going to start off by gliding the hips to the side, or gliding the pelvis side to side. So again, we're not tilting side to side like that. I'm literally gliding. This leg straightens but doesn't lock. You get that nice Nice encouragement of length through the groin there. Sliding side to side. Spine stays upright on top of the pelvis. So if we've got a T shape there, pelvis is parallel to the ground, spine is on top of the pelvis, not tilting side to side, spine on top of the pelvis. And then we're just going to go and rest on the side and open up. Keep that arm hanging over the head rather than here, there. So you get that nice length and stretch through there. And then we scoop down, opposite side. That hip comes forwards. We're not locking anything out there. And then scoop down. Breathing, no grimacing. And then you can just glance up at the palm. Again, you might have one side that feels more fluid than the other. Do just a couple more, nice and steady. And then come to the center, just resting on the thighs, free up the shoulders, just balance there. And I'm not putting loads of weight there, I'm just resting there. Free up the shoulders, just balance there. Breathing. And then bringing the feet together, coming up to standing, have a little shake if you need a shake. Let me just put my clock on because it's hidden behind. There we go, you can see. Spinal cord, bringing the hips back. This time, what we're normally doing is lifting the chin up and looking at the sky there. This time, as we come up, we're not completely tucking the chin, but it's almost like we're just lengthening the back of the neck. And then this part, we do tuck the chin into the chest. So we're just lengthening the neck there. And as usual with the pelvis, tilting the pelvis, spilling out the front as we open up, spilling out the back as we contract. Breathing in here and breathing out. And I really want to emphasize, I know I bang on about this every session, but it's not forcing. It's not like, oh, I want to stretch as hard as I can. It's easing into it. So if you're grimacing, if you're holding the breath, if you're tightening, there's plenty of time to do that in a minute when we start doing the isometric stuff and the squats if we need to. But here you're just opening up, relaxing the face. Soft fists at the top. It's a nice morning stretch. Couple more. then rest. Have a little bit of a shake if you need a shake. Palm facing the ground. Roundness in the elbow. Connecting to the earth, connecting to the sky. So as we do that, we lengthen the spine. As we then lengthen the spine, we swap. Breathing in and breathing out. Spine lengthens, keep that spine long and breathe out. Keep a little bit of roundness in the elbow at the top there. So rather than reaching, keep that shoulder down and round the elbow. So you can still put pressure, you can still push up, but without locking the arm out. So keep a softness in the elbows or a roundness in the elbows. Next one, lengthen and then reaching over. And again, we're opening up here, which is nice, and then back. Lengthen. Remember to lengthen the spine first. Push through. You can push through, push over. And I'm not stopping there. I'm not holding there. I get to the edge and then come back. I lengthen first. Really important to lengthen first. Do one more each side. Good, nice and smooth. And rest. Shake out. I can feel my wrist, that left wrist. It's all this hanging and press ups. It needs a bit of a shake. Shake out, shake the wrist, shake the legs. And then let's go into a comfortable stance where you've got your feet about shoulder width apart, slight turn out of the feet. Just start off with some nice, easy tigers. Now remember here, really get that tension. So tension through the fingers, that engages the back. But the face is relaxed. Keep that face relaxed. Just go to a comfortable depth. And then as you're lifting up, this is nice and soft. It's like you're lifting something up, gently up. Let's go a bit higher as we start off with. So let's go tiger claws out there. Engage, 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 engage the fingers, keeping that chest lifted. And then soften. Lengthen. Breathing easy, you don't have to breathe with the movement, but just breathing easy in and out through the nose. Just doesn't have to be a long in-breath and a long exhale. Keep the face relaxed, jaw relaxed. Remember, it's one of you want to be able to get into any position, stop at any time, recover from that position at any time, move around, which is great, Debbie's doing there, moving around, So I'm not having to force myself off the floor. I'm using the muscles, using my legs, using my whole body to lift. Let's do one more. And take a rest. Let the breath just settle down. Have a little shake if you need to shake. If you have the space, come onto the floor. And again, there's so many different variations of this. Oh, I've got the sofa here. I forgot I had this now. If you've got a sofa, so you want to do it a little bit of an incline, you can do it on an incline, making sure that you're not pushing anything away. So that's quite a nice place to get to. If you've got like a worktop, you can use a worktop. I'd much rather you do an incline rather than on your knees as a press. But if you can do it on the floor, we'll do it on the floor. And we're just going to do 2 to 3 slow push-ups or press-ups. The idea is the thumbs are, it's not the thumbs, that's an index finger. Index fingers are facing forwards, and we get set up in that position. Nice and strong through the center of the body, but not over tightening. And again, no grimacing. And feet, balls of the foot connected to the ground. And then just slowly all the way down. Now, if you get there and you can't get back up, just stop there. If you can push back up, come back up. Keep the spine long. Don't want any strain, so breathing. Face relaxed. I'm going to do one more. Again, if you're inclined, you can do one and then more on the incline. If you get to the point, we're not going to failure. I don't want you to fail. I want you to get to the point where if you're here and you really can't push up, just rest. That's better than struggling and trying to force yourself back up and grimacing and straining. And then safely come back up. So because everybody on Zoom was all on the floor, I didn't see what you were doing, and because I wasn't looking at you, I couldn't see what you're doing. Hopefully you're all right if you're on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. But again, it's nice on a wall. Do you know what I mean? Start on a wall. Slowly, and then really slowly back. That's much better doing. Actually, you most probably didn't see me there. Could you see? Yeah, you could see on the wall there. You wouldn't have seen on Instagram because the camera's narrow. So sorry, there's a wall there, and you're just doing it against a wall. When I go out in the park, there's a beautiful old wall, and it's covered in moss, and it is just so nice because you've got your hands on the moss. Just doing that, it feels really good. Have a little shake out. It's interesting, it's amazing as well how if you do it little and often, suddenly you build that strength. Suddenly you go, yeah, 3 is feeling comfortable, and maybe I do 4, maybe I do 5. But I really emphasize that you don't want to be going, I really need to push that last one out. We don't need to get that far. Let's go back to the squat. We'll do one foot slightly in front of the other foot. So you've got the heel in line with your back toe. And as you come down, it's like a step forward, but we're going to come down the center. That back heel will come off the ground, but you've still got some pressure through that back heel. Then come back up. And same thing. Stay on that same leg. So you've got about, I would say about 80%, 70% weight through that front leg, the back leg. You're still putting pressure through the ball of the foot, just stabilizing. Just letting that knee bend, glide. And then take a rest. And then we do the other side. Give yourself a moment to let the breath settle. And then step forward. We're still about hip width apart. That heel is in line with that toe, so I'm not doing a big wide split squat or a lunge or anything like that. And then shifting that weight slightly onto that front foot. Is that different? Do you prefer to stay back here on that side? So again, just check in if it feels different. And this is where you want to have that idea of squeezing the muscles around the bone, but not over tensing. Use tension in a good way. It's like, where do I need to be nice and strong? Squeezing the muscles into the bone. And then take a rest. Shaking out. Shake out the shoulders. Shake out the legs. Let's go back to shoulder width and take the feet slightly out. And this time we'll do opening the flow. So if we just do standard open the flow, arms float up, arms float down. But it's like the opposite of the tiger. So what we'll do is we will add arms float up, arms float down. It's almost like, imagine you're watching someone in slow motion jumping off a wall or jumping down. Really keep those arms soft, fingers soft. What I like about this one is it keeps that chest lifted. Keep your chest lifted up. Let's do one more. And take a rest. Nice breath, let the breath settle. If when you finish a little movement like that, you feel like taking a bigger breath, letting that breath go, that's absolutely fine. Just one breath like that is a nice way to cleanse and clear. When you're moving, you're creating CO2. If we go into the point where you're creating more CO2, you might need to just do that little bit of cleansing and clearing. So that's absolutely fine. We're not huffing and puffing. There's a very big difference between as opposed to let go and just that little bit of cleansing and clearing. Let's go now to some isometric, some holding positions. Our favorite one I know everybody likes is going as wide as you safely can with your legs. Turn out, feet turn out. We're going to glide down and then just rest on the thighs there. And then we're going to come down. Now, I need to adjust this a little bit more because I've gone wide there. I can do that. Actually, that's a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to bring my legs in a bit. So that's where you adjust your position. So you're in a comfortable place there. So resting the forearms. And then we keep that up that lower body at that position. We stick a pin in the hips and we hinge the hips. So I'm not lifting that upper body up, I'm hinging the hips. So I'm really squeezing all the muscles in my glutes, in my thighs, in my calves, really engaging those muscles, squeezing them into the bones. And then I'm lifting the spine and I'm connecting nice and strong through the shoulders. But again, I know I'm releasing. Relax the face. You can push in here. So really holding that position, but not holding the breath. Breathing nice and easy. And everybody's going to come up in their own time. There is no competition for those watching on Zoom and watching each other. I can see if you're not breathing. I can see if you're straining. And if you smile, it makes it a lot easier. Have a laugh. Squeeze, 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 just as and when you're ready. Nobody's going to come up first. I love it. I'm just going to stay here. What time is it? We got 2 more minutes. I'm going to come up. I'm going to give you all a little rest and shake out. It's amazing how suddenly warm you feel by doing that. Well, I do. Hopefully you do as well. That warmth you get just running through the body when you're doing that. So we're doing what we call isometric contraction. You're just holding a position. And again, the subtlety of holding a position or straining. If I'm straining, it's like, whereas if I'm holding a position but not straining, I'm thinking almost like trying to squeeze all my muscles around the bones. I think it's a nice way of visualizing that. And importantly, you're breathing. You could add breath holds in this, but for this particular practice, I want us to breathe with that, because a breath hold again can create it can create tension that you don't want. We want good quality, intentional tension. Let's do it again for the last minute. And I'm not suggesting you hold it for a minute. We're not timing it. You're going to that point that feels challenging, but still available. So resting your hands first and then coming down. Forearms, if that feels comfortable, you can adjust your position if it doesn't feel comfortable. That's the depth we got with the lower body. Then we're hinging the hips. So to hinge the hips, we really have to squeeze everything. Squeeze the calves, squeeze the quads around the legs. Lengthen the spine. All of this stuff we've done about lengthening the spine. Lengthen the spine. Connect. Elbows up. Back nice and strong. But soft in the front of the body. Relaxing the face. Softening into the face. Smiling, having a laugh really helps. Inner smile. Relaxing the face. Breathing. Think about breathing into the heart center, the stuff we were doing in our breathing sessions, breathing into the heart center so you feel that subtle expansion and contraction of the rib cage. Breathing, breathing, breathing. It is nearly 8:30 actually. It's 8:30. Let's go for another, I'm going to go another 15 seconds. Again, it's not a competition. But go for as long as you're comfortable, no grimacing, keep breathing. And then slowly. And we can finish that with breathing in, breathing out. Do one more into bamboo in the wind. It's just gone 8:30, but if you've got a moment, just to give yourself a nice bit of bamboo in the wind, bringing the feet close together. that whole lengthening through the spine. And then just allowing any movements, subtle movements through the body. Rock, sway, spiral, bamboo in the wind. And then taking a calm breath in through the nose, opening your eyes, stepping out, excuse me, having a little shake, having a brush down. Excellent. Hopefully that feels good. We want to finish these sessions feeling good, not finish feeling wrecked or anything like that. Just a reminder, tomorrow I'm flying back to the UK, which is interesting. And I'm in Scotland 13th to 16th of March. Still have a couple of places. If anybody wants to do the Oxygen Advantage instructor training with myself and Andrew in Scotland, in the beautiful retreat in Scotland, 13th, 16th of March. And then I'm doing a workshop, an Oxygen Advantage workshop in London as well, the 21 to the 23 of March. So if you want to do that, get in contact. I still have a couple of places on both of those trainings. I will see you on Monday for the breath focus. Have a great weekend. Thanks as always for joining, and I'll see you later.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. Enjoy Mexico, Debbie. Well, she's gone. See you later. Bye. She can't wait to get there.